We're great. Cheers. Do one more. Come on! Hear that song? It's good for the oil. Three only variation. Fit your lifestyle.
Happy Valentine's.
What's up, everyone? It's Friday night. We're back in the basement and ready to do some Mastershakes, moderately entertaining mixology minutes. I'm your host, the Mastershake in the basement. You're the greatest audience in the world. I'm excited to be here. Just hot off doing betting bros with math. It was a super good time. Not too many people in Michigan are pumped about the Super Bowl, but I'm excited. It's going to be a great weekend. This show probably should be more Super Bowl themed, but I was a little bit distracted this week by Quentin Tarantino. I think he's one of the best directors ever, probably top 10. And I'm trying to convince others of the same. And I really think that, like, to a certain extent, I haven't touched on anything Quentin Tarantino on the show ever. So I thought it'd be really, really nice to craft a cocktail in his honor. And I have to admit, the cocktail we're doing tonight, Mr. Pink's drink, it's a theft this week. My recipe's not a theft. But when I was in college, story time, I suppose. When I was in college, there was a bar called the Yellow Jacket. And the Yellow Jacket had a drink called the Pink Drink, which you could only order 2 of, ever. Like, ever. Like, they did. But we, of course, come here. We, of course, would sneak more than 2, of course. Well, it dawned on me a few years back, as we were all trying to replicate the Pink Drink in a million different ways. It's just a Long Island iced tea with pink lemonade. So this is going to be my take on it. So it's Tarantino-Inspired, but Mastershake improved. How about that? Tarantino-Inspired, Mastershake approved. Let's see who's in the chat today. We got Dr. Forbes in the house. Good to see you, Dr. Forbes. You had a shout out on Betting Bros today. Ward, it's always good to see you, Ward. I will at some point be in the basement tonight. I'm sure you guys will be showing Joe Bob. I will be there. Timbo, we just came off the best fan. Tiki, the Tiki? No, this is after Tiki. Tiki's in Ludington. This is like Allendale. Super excited. I think that, so Dr. Forbes got the math-inspired version. He did a little grape twist to it, shall we say. Let's introduce some beers, okay? Before I get carried away, tonight's brewery is New Holland Brewery in Holland, Michigan, which is on the coast. It was, to a certain extent, my very first brewery. I lived in Holland from 2008, 2009. And, it was a good vibe at its start. It had all of the booths were made out of plywood, and I'm not even kidding when I say this. All the booths were made out of plywood. I love to go there and grade papers, especially like I'd go there on a Friday night, and I was a Mug Club member then. I'd go there on a Friday night, sit down and grade a bunch of papers, and it was just small. Now, since that time period, it's become much, much larger. They have a very successful bar in Grand Rapids, which is arguably more successful than their original one in Holland. And to a certain extent, they've gravitated away from beer and towards liquor. So this brewery is still one that's close to my heart. When anytime I'm in Holland, I make sure to visit it. But it doesn't necessarily reach that top tier for me anymore. And it's only because I feel like they just don't pay close enough attention to their beer. Their liquor is high quality. Anybody will tell you this. They have this bourbon, they call it Beer Barrel Bourbon. Top bourbon in Michigan. It's one of them for sure. Super good. But their beer just kind of, I don't know, just not top tier anymore in my opinion. So let's get to them. Okay, we'll throw in the second camera like always. Here we go. I have 5 mainstays here. Well, okay. Mainstay is different. And like I should say mainstay is different than seasonal. I've never really said this on the show before, but a mainstay is something you can get year-round. One of these in particular is very seasonal, okay, and that's the Poet. Though you can always get it on a draft there, it's not always easy to find it bottled year-round. Same thing with Ichabod, which is a fall release for them. I love the Poet. We'll start with that one now. It's a great oatmeal stout. They used to have much better labeling, in my opinion. So the Poet was originally a kind of shout out, so to speak, to Edgar Allan Poe and the Raven. And they had a picture of the Raven on the logo. I thought it was super cool. When they re-logoed, it's not rebranding really, it's really re-logoing. When they re-logoed at one point, they went to this simpler style where they just show, and if you don't know this already, Holland, Michigan is known for their, much like regular Holland, their windmills. So they re-logoed, so to speak. We have a very good oatmeal stout. Comes in at 5.6%. Solid stout. Not supreme or anything like that, but very solid. 3.5 stars. It's one of those kind of stouts that if you looked it up in the dictionary, this is what you would find. It's like that. Very quality, but not supreme. We'll go over here to Light Point. It's a functional white ale. This is a quality beer. If you like a white ale, there used to be a recipe here in Michigan from Michigan Brewery, which doesn't technically exist. Any MBC now is Midtown Brewery Company. But they had a Michigan white, and this is very similar to that. It's a quality white ale. So if that's your boat, it's good. You can get it year round. Light Point it's a solid beer. I give it like a 3.5 stars. It's good, not great. Then we have a Midwest IPA right here. Okay, the Mad Hatter. This is their flagship IPA for a while. They did 18 different versions of the Mad Hatter IPA. It's good. I used to think it was better than Two Hearted that we had on last week, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think to a certain extent the recipe's been watered down. It's not as punchy as it used to be. The double version, Double Hatter, is again good, not great. I will give it 4 stars, but I'm also like prone to liking IPAs anyway. So if you're going to drink a Michigan IPA, it's still solid to pick. It's just not the best Michigan IPA for what it's worth. Now, this is newer, but still a mainstay for them. NEPAs are a big style that came here to the Midwest about 3 years ago. You can call it a hazy IPA if you really want to. It's essentially the same thing. Boomtown Brewing in Boston was really the first people to kind of like be the forefront of it. So this NEPA, and that's a New England IPA NEPA. This NEPA is great. 4.5 stars. It's one of the best New Holland beers that you can get, in my opinion. Highly recommend it. This has been around since 2008 when I started drinking there. So has the Poet, and so has Hatter. Lazy River and Light Point, those are the newer beers, so to speak. But this Kolsch is a great ale. Great for summer drinking. I don't really think of it too much as a winter drink, but it is a mainstay. You can get it year-round. They used to have a golden ale called Sundog that was always on tap and always around, but I couldn't find it. Shake, or not, sorry, not Miss Shake, but Mrs. Forbes and Tim Forbes in the chat there, they could tell you because they're there a lot more than I am whether Sondog is still on tap, but I could not, despite stopping 3 places, find a bottle of it. And so instead I grabbed this one, and it's a good mainstay that I've drank off and on again pretty much since I've been there. It's not phenomenal. It's a 3.5 star type of beer, but definitely something that if you don't like Kolsch, stay away from it because it is a Kolsch, like through and through. There's no other it is a Kolsch, the definition of a Kolsch. So if you don't like that kind of like crisp pseudo lager, not the beer for you. Now, saw somewhere in the chat, right here. Where is the Dragon's Milk? You cannot do New Holland Brewing without mentioning this stout. So, ready? Da, 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 da. Right here, Dr. Forbes. This is what you drink from New Holland. It's a phenomenal stout. I like it better than KBS and CBS, which comes from Founders, which we did 2 weeks ago. This is a 5-star beer. Dragon's Milk is then and again the reason to drink beer at New Holland. It is a top-tier beer there. It is a top-tier beer in Michigan. It is a top-tier beer in the United States. It's won multiple awards. Having said that, they have done what a lot of small breweries have done. They've gone away from this is like the way. Excuse me. And they've shifted into this. We're going to flood the market with Dragon's Milk. And you can get all kinds of flavors of it. I don't appreciate that. Some people do. They have a mint chocolate one. They have one that is like a triple mash. They have like all these different cinnamon s'mores one last fall. I don't get it. When I want Dragon's Milk, this is what I want. I want a barrel-aged stout around 9 to 11%. I want a lot of coffee-forward flavor in it. I want to taste a little bit of chocolate, and I want a whole lot of barrel. I don't want the rest of the stuff in it. If you want it, hey, again, I've said it multiple times on the show, no rules. I'm not a gatekeeper. But if you're going to take my advice on a beer, 5 stars right here, and it's the only version you need to drink from New Holland. I'm just saying. Quality, quality, quality beer. Check the chats really quick. Dr. Forbes, she loves the Stoop Waffle version. Great. Spin-offs at the brewery now. You're right, Tim. You like that? Ward, you've had Dragon's Milk before. That's awesome. So Ward, if you didn't know, is in Florida. And so tell people your experience with it, Ward. Because it would be really interesting to see what somebody says that's not from Michigan. I drank this beer for 15 years now. So I'd be really curious to see what somebody who hasn't done it, So, our drink tonight. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a fancy drink. This is a bar drink. And sometimes it's just about drinking a bar drink. This is the kind of drink you find on a menu at a bar. This isn't a high-class, highfalutin cocktail bar cocktail. You drink this when you are at a college bar with your college friends doing college things. And sometimes that's great. I haven't done a cocktail like this in a long time where it's just like, you drink this for one reason and one reason only, and that is to drink. I do know how to make a whole bevy of different styles and variations of cocktails, but sometimes all you want is a Long Island iced tea. You want the garbage palette of cocktails, and I get that 100%. So for what it's worth, I think that The actual recipe for Long Island iced tea, when they do the splash of Coke, I don't like that. I've never ordered it, and seriously, I've never ordered it. But I've ordered the plain drink plenty. And I'll tell you why. It's because when you add Coke to something, it just adds the sweetness to it. It's more sweetness on top of sweetness. And that's what you get in terms of a drink like this. It's sweet on sweet if you have nothing but sweet. By using pink lemonade, you get the sourness attached to it that balances that sweetness out in a way that it makes it a drinkable cocktail. Okay? And that's the difference for me. I don't want sweet on sweet on sweet. I want balanced. I want something that gives a flavor forward. Most Long Island iced teas I've drank taste like nothing. Someone would be like, "Hey, you've never had a Long Island, drink this." I've never ordered it, guys. For a reason. Garbage cocktail. Do something better. So, this is my version of a Long Island iced tea, inspired by Quentin Tarantino. And I would be remiss to mention this. We watched Reservoir Dogs this week. I am super curious to think, do you have an opinion on whether or not Mr. Pink dies in this film? There's a debate. And I say there's absolutely no way that Mr. Pink gets away from this scenario. So I'm super curious to see what you guys say in the comments. Like, did Mr. Pink die when all of the police rolled up and everybody's surrounding him? They have the standoff and everything. Did Mr. Pink die, or did he live and get away with his professionalism? It's something to think about. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, it's not a spoiler, but go see the movie. What's wrong with you? Watch this movie. It's a good movie. So this is my best version of a Long Island iced tea and a Tarantino-inspired cocktail that could be servable at any kind of like fancier theme-based bar. I think it would be funny. So, ingredients, and I left the second camera up for this. I'm using organic strawberry lemonade. That's my pink lemonade. Right here. I'm using this because there's no sugars added. I said I didn't want sweet on top of sweet, right? So I want the sourness of the natural lemonade, and then the strawberry comes in as like a backing, so to speak, and it provides us with the color that we want. You need triple sec. I'm using my cheap triple sec today. Fits with the type of cocktail it is. I'm using Arbor Brewing wheat vodka. A2 Distilling, which is from Arbor Brewing in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They make a lot of different kinds of vodka and gin. I like this wheat vodka for cocktails. I like it. I just think that it makes really good cocktails and blends really well with different stuff inside a shaker. Going back to this, we had it last week. We'll have it this week. I love Mammoth. You love Mammoth. And if you don't, you should love Mammoth. Mammoth Distilling. Top distilling in Michigan. Yeah, you heard me. Top distiller in Michigan. Right here. My favorite gin in Michigan. Mammoth Distilling. Espolon Tequila today. Silver Tequila. I had this bottle up there on the shelf. You need a Blanco Tequila anyway. When you're doing a Long Island iced tea, it's all the clear version of the four main liquors other than whiskey. Although I have seen versions that substitute whiskey for gin, because gin and vodka are essentially the same. I mean, gin is just flavored vodka. So we're using the Tequila Blanco. Espolon Tequila is really, really good for cocktails. I highly recommend it. I'm using a vanilla rum. You don't have to use a vanilla rum. You just need a silver rum. So any clear rum that you have. I like to put vanilla in because I think it smooths out the flavors inside of cocktails. I would have either used a vanilla vodka, which I also have, or a vanilla rum. I think it makes drinks have more character when you introduce that vanilla smoothness to it. It's not creamy because it's liquor, but that smoothness that the vanilla vodka provides balances a lot of flavors, and it reduces the harshness of a booze-forward cocktail like this. So I'm using a vanilla rum. You don't have to use a vanilla rum. You just need a silver rum. So any clear rum that you have. I like to put vanilla in because I think it smooths out the flavors inside of cocktails. I think it makes drinks have more character when you introduce that vanilla smoothness to it. So I highly recommend either vanilla vodka or vanilla rum. One of the two. Of course, yeah, the four horsemen, Tim. Your shakers, your jig, strain. We're using a standard pint glass. Like I said, this is like a bar cocktail. So we got our standard bar glass. Spoon to do nothing other than, oh, you can't see it. Spank that ice. Gotta love it. And of course, you need your ice. Real simple cocktail. So our recipe calls for 1 ounce of your vodka, 1 ounce of tequila, 1 ounce of rum, 1 ounce of gin, 0.5 ounces of triple sec, and 2.5 ounces of pink lemonade. Okay. You also need a bar spoon of grenadine, which I did not bring down today, which is okay. It's just for the theme, because I'm claiming, and it was the like debatable thing, I'm claiming that he died at the end. Hey, I'm so curious. I gotta throw Mick Manhattan.
Your kids, Marty. Something's got to be done about your kids.
Did Mr. Pink die at the end?
Next show.
Did Mr. Pink die at the end?
Yeah, 100%. You can hear the gunshots.
Thank you. Mr. Shake completely disagreed.
Well, Tarantino said it.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's like
in an interview years ago.
It's always debated.
No, he did. You can hear the gunshots as he runs out.
Awesome.
So he dies.
All right. I'll pull you out. Thanks, Mick.
Yep.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? None other than Mick Manhattan. Mr. Pink does die. See? All right, let's make this drink. We need our ice. We're going to start by Katie's favorite. One whole cube. One cracked cube. We're going to put it in 2 different shakers today, just because I feel like it. We need 1 ounce of your vodka. 1 ounce of the vodka. You need 1 ounce of your gin. I'm going to mention this. Like, I love Mammoth. I know that it's debatable in this group what the best distiller in Michigan is, but man, everything I have there is plus. And I think that's hard to find. Again, Mammoth. Drink what you want to drink. 1 ounce tequila. Man, can you imagine making this in a bar? And people order this all the time. It's like one of the most annoying drinks to make. All these different like ingredients in it. Half an ounce triple sec. That's a super easy one. Look at that. That's what happens when you have a little bit of water on the bottom. Half ounce triple sec. And it smells so strong right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like the aromatics coming up from all the different booze. You need 2.5 ounces of your pink lemonade. So let's flip this. 2 ounces. Half an ounce. And I might splash some on top just because the ingredients in terms of a bar glass like this sometimes don't add up. Give it a shake. Bar glass ready. Tight strain. No, wait, no tight strain. We're not doing tight strain today. I almost tight strained it. We're not adding new ice into it. We're using the same ice. This is a bar. This is a bar drink, and this is what you would do. And there you go. You want to put that splash of grenadine on the top. Looks like maybe the death rose. And like I said, I might put a splash on top just because of the when you're making a bar drink like this, and this is a warning to all you guys out there, I guess. This is what a bartender does when you mix something and it doesn't quite add up to the top. You just take the cheapest ingredient. You do that. I'm not kidding. That's just what bartenders do. They just take the cheapest ingredient and kind of like throw it on top. Tim said he didn't shake his. That's okay, as long as you stirred it. It's a bar cocktail, so some bartenders, they throw all that together. If you go to like a Applebee's, you might not see a shaker behind the bar. They might just take bar spoon and stir it. I shook it because I think that it makes it taste better. The old YJ, they probably didn't shake it. This is a place where you get a $2 burger. So let's taste it and see how closely it resembles college for me. Yep, that's college. That is a pink drink, through and through and through. It really like. I'll tell you this. I told you it was the kind of cocktail where when you drink it for one reason. And any human that consumes all of that is going to get that one result. I don't think I will be drinking all of this. Very booze forward. It's very booze forward. It's a Long Island iced tea. Now, unlike a Long Island iced tea, it's not sweet on sweet on sweet. It does have that balance out of the sourness of the lemonade, which is what I wanted in the first place. Maybe I'm not chugging it, Ward. Oh, Tim said it right here. It'll get you drunk. It's good. Well, it's good for what it is. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better version of the drink. Or in terms of what it is, like a better way to pay homage to Mr. Pink from none other than Reservoir Dogs, you know. Tarantino-inspired. He's my favorite character from that film. And maybe not you guys, but I love Mr. Pink in that. He's a pain in everybody's ass. And I just think it's super entertaining. So Tarantino-inspired, Mastershake approved, Mr. Pink's drink. Which brings us to the last segment. My second favorite segment, the goodbye. I think that you guys are great. Today's shot, we're going to do straight up tequila. For two reasons. One, I forgot I had this bottle of Espolon. And I love doing tequila shots. I don't know about you, but I think they're the best shots to do. It's my opinion, the second best way to drink tequila. The best is obviously a margarita. Come on. Any variation on a tequila sour, right? Whether it's spicy, not spicy, strawberry, whatever it is. Tequila's a great booze. I like to do it in a margarita, but if I can't do it in a margarita, shots. I got my lime right here. I like to do a little salt. And this is salt. It even says it on it. Salt. Nothing else. See? Salt. Let's do a little choppy, shall we? With our lime. And if you're getting your shot ready, I appreciate that. You can shoot whatever you want, by the way. It doesn't have to be tequila. Got it handy. It's always good. Cut out my lime here. Get my salt ready. I don't know about you. It's always gross when people lick their fingers. A great way to do it instead of licking it, and I have done it before just because I that's all I was doing, but you can take a lime, kind of wipe it on the inside part, like so, and then sprinkle some salt on it, okay? Like, I think it's totally gross when people lick their finger. I can't help it. But yeah, you're no fault. It's not Coke either. If anybody's saying that in the chat, never done cocaine. I don't even know what it would be like. Let's get our shot glass. We are choosing this one today. Never Sleep Again. Gotta love Freddie. Pour our Espolon Silver Tequila. What should we do? Allison's tequila. Let's do, in honor of Patricia, this one's for you. Okay? We'll do our salt. Arriba, abajo, al centro, adentro, salud. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Next week, brewery-wise, we're doing Odd Side Ales, okay? Not my favorite brewery, but a respected Michigan brewery. So next week, Odd Side Ales. I haven't decided on the cocktail yet. I think it should be whiskey-based next week. You know, since we did all the Four Horsemen this week, next week's whiskey. So I've been your Mastershake. This is The Basement. Every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And you guys have been the best. Until next week, cheers.